Hello, friends. Today we are talking about the 5 unforgivable sins of leadership. We will help you unlock your full potential as a leader and avoid the pitfalls that can destroy your team's morale and productivity. In this video, we will dive deep into the most critical mistakes you must never make, from failing to communicate to taking the credit for others' work. We will break down common errors that can sink even the most promising careers. Let's go. Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm thrilled that you have been able to join today for this crucial discussion about leadership. We often focus on the positive traits of great leaders, their vision, their charisma, their ability to inspire. But today we are going to delve into the darker side. We are going to talk about the unforgivable, unignorable sins of leadership, the critical mistakes that can erode trust, decimate team morale, and ultimately lead to failure. Think about leaders you admire. What qualities make them stand out? Now flip that coin. Can you recall a leader who left a negative impact? What actions defined their shortcomings? Understanding what not to do is just as vital as knowing what to do when you are in a position of influence. Over the next few minutes, we will explore the 5 fundamental errors that leaders must absolutely avoid. These aren't the minor slips, they cannot be ignored. They are fundamental breaches of trust and responsibility. Whether you are a seasoned executive, budding manager, or simply someone interested in dynamics of leadership, understanding these sins will equip you to lead more effectively and build a stronger, more resilient teams. So let's get started, friends. Our first unforgivable sin is the failure to communicate effectively. This might seem obvious, but its impact is profound and far-reaching. Poor communication isn't just about occasional misunderstanding. It's about a consistent flow of information, expectations, and feedback. Consider a team working on a critical project with unclear goals or constantly shifting priorities. Imagine the frustration, the wasted effort, and the eventual disillusionment. This often stems from a leader who doesn't articulate a clear vision, doesn't provide regular updates, or doesn't actively listen to their team's concerns. Effective communication is a two-way street. It involves not only clear conveying your message, but also creating an environment where team members feel safe and encouraged to share their ideas, ask questions, raise concerns. Leaders who operate in an echo chamber of their own thoughts or who dismisses feedback are committing a grave error. Think about the consequence, starting with confusion and misalignment. Without the clear direction, teams can easily veer off track, leading to wasted resources and missed deadlines. Second is the erosion of trust. When information is withheld or inconsistently shared, team members feel undervalued and distrustful of their leadership. Next is decreased morale and engagement. Feeling uninformed or unheard can lead to apathy and decline in motivation. Number 4 is increased error and mistakes. Lack of clarity on tasks and expectations inevitably lead to errors and rework. So what are the practical takeaways? As a leader, make consistent and transparent communication. It is a top priority. Practice active listening, provide regular updates, and ensure your team understands the why behind their task. Foster an open dialogue where feedback is welcomed and act upon. Remember, a well-informed team is an empowered team. The second unforgivable sin is the micromanagement and fundamental lack of trust in your team's ability. While it's natural for leaders to want to ensure quality and efficiency, constantly hovering over every task, scrutinizing every detail sends a clear message. I don't believe you can do this without my constant intervention. Micromanagement stifles creativity, kills initiative, and breeds resentment. It communicates a profound lack of faith in the skill of the people and judgment of your team. All the members. Imagine being constantly looked over your shoulder, your every move being questioned. How would that make you feel? Likely demotivated, undervalued, and eager to seek opportunities where you are trusted and empowered. The consequences of micromanagements are significant, starting with reduced productivity. Well, micromanagement employees spend more time seeking approvals and less time focusing on their actual work. Next is decreased innovation. Fear of making mistakes and constant oversight discourages creative problem solving and risk taking. Next, high employee turnover. Talented individuals rarely tolerate being micromanaged for very long. They will seek environments where they are given autonomy and respect. Next is stunted growth. Micromanagement prevents team members from developing their skills and taking ownership of their work. It creates dependency on the leader itself. So, what are the practical takeaways? Delegate effectively and empower your team members. Clearly define expectations, provide the necessary resources and support, then trust them to deliver. Step back and allow them to take ownership. Be available for guidance, but resist the urge to control every minute detail. Remember, your role is a leader's role is to build a capable individual and self-sufficient team, not to be the bottleneck for every task. Our third unforgivable sin strikes at the very heart of the ethical leadership, taking credit for the work of your team member. This is a blatant betrayal of trust and deeply demoralizing act. When leaders appreciate the idea, effort, and achievement of their team, they create a sort of a toxic environment of resentment and disengagement. Imagine a team member pouring their heart and soul into a project only to see their leaders presented as their own accomplishment. This not only robs the individual of recognition but also undermines the collective spirit of the team. It sends a clear message that individual contributions are not valued and that the leader is more concerned with personal gain than with acknowledging the effort of those basically the team they lead. The negative impact of this behavior are undeniable, starting with severe damage to trust. This act shattered the foundation of trust between leaders and their team. It's a clear indication of the self-interest overall over the well-being and recognition of others. Next, erosion of the team morale. When contributions are ignored or stolen, team members feel demotivated, unappreciated, and less likely to go the extra mile. Next is suppression of innovation. Why would team members share their best idea if they fear they won't receive credit? This behavior stifles the creativity and innovation. Next, loss of respect. Leaders who encourage this behavior quickly lose respect of their team and their peers. So, what are the practical takeaways? Be generous in acknowledging and celebrating the contribution of your team members. Publicly recognize their achievement and ensure they receive the credit they deserve. Your role as a leader is to amplify the success of your team, not to steal their spotlight. Remember, true leadership is about empowering others and celebrating collective achievements. The fourth unforgivable sin is leading by hypocrisy. This occurs when the leader's word and actions are inconsistent. When they preach one set of standard for their team but operates by a completely different set of rules for themselves. This duality erodes credibility and breeds cynicism within the team. Think about the leaders who constantly emphasizes the importance of punctuality but is consistently late for meetings themselves, or a manager who stresses the need for ethical conduct but engage in questionable practices behind the closed doors. These inconsistencies create a sense of unfairness and undermine the leader's authority. Why should the team adhere to rules that the leaders themselves don't follow or disregard? The consequences of hypocritical leadership are absolutely damaging, starting with the loss of credibility. When the leader's actions don't align with their words, their credibility is severely compromised. The team member will struggle to take them seriously. Next, creation of double standards. Hypocrisy fosters a culture of inequality and resentment, where some rules apply to the team and others apply to the leader. Next, decrease accountability. If the leader doesn't hold themselves to the same standard they expect from their team, it undermines the entire system of accountability. Next, negative impact on culture. Hypocrisy can create a cynical and untrustworthy work environment where ethical behavior is not valued. So let's discuss about the practical takeaways. We have to lead by example. Your actions speak far louder than your words. Hold yourself to the same standard you expect of your team. Be consistent in your behavior and ensure your actions align with the values and the principles you promote or you talk about. Remember, true leadership is about integrity and walking their talk. So our fifth and final unforgivable sin is the lack of empathy and disregard for the well-being of the team members. Leaders who view their team as mere resources to be exploited without acknowledging their individual needs, challenges, and aspirations are committed a grave error. Empathy is the ability to understand and share the feeling of others. Leaders who lack empathy often struggle to connect with their team on a human level. They may be dismissive of personal issues, insensitive to stress and burnout, and unwilling to provide necessary support for their team's well-being. In today's world, where work-life balance and mental health are increasingly recognized as a critical item for productivity and engagement, a lack of empathy can have severe consequences, starting with increased stress and burnout. A demanding work environment without understanding or support can lead to significant stress and burnout among team members. Number 2 is decreased engagement and motivation. When employees feel like their well-being is not valued, their motivation and engagement will inevitably decline. Next, higher absenteeism and presenteeism. Well, burnout and lack of support can lead to increased sick leaves and reduced productivity. When employees are physically present, even if they are present, their productivity will be lower. Next is damage to company culture. A culture that lacks empathy can become very toxic and unwelcoming, leading to difficulty in attracting and retaining talent. So let's discuss about how you can overcome these and what are the takeaways. Cultivate empathy and prioritize the well-being of your team. Take the time to understand their individual circumstances, listen to their concerns, and provide the support they need. Foster a work environment that value work-life balance and the mental health. Remember, your team members are not just the cog in a machine. They are individuals with lives, families, and aspirations. Treating them with empathy and respect is not just the right thing to do, it is also essential for building a high performing and sustainable team. So, there you have it, the 5 unforgivable sins of leadership: failure to communicate effectively, micromanagement, lack of trust, taking credit for others' work, leading by hypocrisy and lack of empathy, and disregard for well-being. Providing these pitfalls isn't just about preventing negative outcomes, it's about actively building a positive and thriving leadership legacy. Great leaders inspire, empower, and uplift those around them. They foster trust, encourage growth, and celebrate collective success. Reflect on these 5 sins. Are there any areas where you could improve your own leadership approach? Are there leaders you have encountered who have fallen prey to these mistakes? Learning from both positive and negative examples is crucial for our own development. Remember, leadership is a journey, not a destination. It requires continuous self-reflection, learning, and genuine commitment to serving and empowering your team. Be consciously, be aware, avoiding these unforgivable sins. You can pave the way for more effective and ethical and ultimately more successful leadership. So friends, thanks for joining me today. I hope this discussion has been insightful and valuable for you. Now let's go forward and lead your team with integrity and empathy. Thank you for watching. If you have any comments, leave them in the comment section below, and I will catch you soon in the next one.